Dear students, I welcome you all to the class of chemistry on the date 20th January 2021. So let us revise the topic that we have studied into the last period about the p block elements. So today we shall study about the p block elements. Here in 11th standard, we will study about group 14 elements. We have been studying about group 14 elements, and let us start our class with the revision of the electronegativity, which is the periodic property of group 14 elements. So let's start the discussion about the electronegativity. Due to small size, the elements of this group are slightly more electronegative than group 13. So we know that as we go left to right, non-metallic character increases, and as non-metallic character increases, my dear students, we can easily understand that due to increased non-metallic character, electronegativity also increases. And thus, if you go from group number 13 to 14, due to small size and the elements of this group are slightly more electronegative than group 13 element. This is quite simple to understand. The electronegativity value of silicon, germanium, and tin and lead are almost same. This is even an interesting point to study about, my dear students, that if you go down the group from carbon to silicon, see these are the elements. This electronegativity of this four are almost same. And this is carbon has got the most negative value or most high value for electronegativity. But as you go down the group, the value for electronegativity, my dear students, decreases, and these all have almost the same value for their electronegativity. That is what you can see here in this table I have drawn for you. The electronegativity for carbon is 2.5, for silicon it is 1.8, 1.8, 1.8 and 1.9. It shows that they have almost same or similar electronegativities. Then we have the next one, which is known as the physical properties, my dear students. So all group 14 members are solids. Carbon and silicon are non-metals. Germanium is a metalloid, whereas tin and lead are soft metals with low melting points. So please remember that group 14 members are solids, carbon and silicons are non-metals, germanium is a metalloid, whereas tin and lead are the soft, low melting metals. Please remember, my dear students, it is important for you to note that we have carbon, silicon, germanium, tin and lead. You know that carbon is a solid. Carbon is solid, my dear students. You can see here carbon is solid. Silicons and germanium are non-metals. These two are non-metals, or you can say them metalloid. So silicon and germanium are metalloids also. You can call them metalloids. Whereas tin and lead are soft metals. So your Sn and Pb are soft metals with low melting points. They are metals and they are soft metals. So this is how, my dear students, you can easily understand that the physical nature or the physical state or their metallic and non-metallic character. Melting points and boiling points of group 14 elements are much higher than those of the corresponding elements of group 13. So in group 13, my dear students, we have seen the elements like boron, aluminium, see, boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, and thallium. Now, when we compare the melting point and boiling point here, my dear students, these group 13 elements, their bonds or their bond dissociation enthalpy is not so high, but here these elements have got stronger bond as compared to the group 13 elements, and that is why their melting and boiling points of group 14 elements are much higher than corresponding elements of group 13. Now, dear students, let's move forward and understand the chemical properties. First, we should study about the oxidation state and trends in chemical reactivity. So let's look at that. Group 14 elements have 4 electrons in their outermost shell, that is NS2 and P2, my dear students. The common oxidation state exhibited by these elements, what could be the common oxidation state, or what could be the group state? Can you tell me, my dear students? We have been studying about group 14 elements. What should be the group oxidation state that we can have? Can you tell me? Any one of you, please? Okay. The common oxidation states are +4 and +2. Generally, when we have group 14, the group oxidation state is generally +4. So that is what we have studied into the previous chapters. Carbon also exhibit negative oxidation state since the sum of the first 4 ionization enthalpy is very high. Compounds of carbon in +4 oxidation states are mostly covalent in nature. Now here, my dear students, I have shown you the various oxidation states that has been shown by carbon. You can see that in various compounds, carbon can show the variable oxidation state, and the oxidation state of carbon ranging from -4 to +4. So let us understand the various oxidation state of carbon. You can see that carbon can show the oxidation state -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, +1, +2, +3, and +4. In methane, carbon is -4. In CH3 or ethane, carbon is -3. In CH3Cl, carbon is -2. In C2H4Cl2, or you can say 1,2-dichloroethane, carbon is -1. In dichloromethane, carbon is having the oxidation state 0. In C2H2Cl4, that means 1,2,2 tetrachloroethane has got carbon oxidation state +1. In chloroform, carbon has got oxidation state +2. In C2Cl6, that means hexachloroethane, carbon has got the oxidation state of +3, whereas in CCl4 and carbon dioxide, that is carbon tetrachloride and carbon dioxide, carbon is having the oxidation state of +4. So you can see that the carbon can have the variable oxidation state ranging from +4 to -4. We have even studied about the oxidation state of nitrogen ranging from -3 to +3. Please remember, in heavier members, the tendency to show +2 oxidation state increases in the sequence. So as we go down the group, my dear students, we are already aware that there is an inert pair effect. And the last element of the group will show the lower oxidation state very strongly, and thus the +2 oxidation state order is +2 oxidation state is most stable in lead, is stable in Sn, and is least stable in among these three in germanium. But you can see that as we go down the group, the stability of +2 oxidation state increases and stability of +4 oxidation state decreases. It is due to the instability of NS2 electron of valence shell to participate in the bonding, and this is what we collectively call it as inert pair effect. So my dear students, let me explain you inert pair effect once again in this chapter. You can see that Sn has got krypton 5s2 4d10 5p2. Lead has got the electronic configuration as a xenon 6s2, 4f14, 5d10, 6p2. Do you remember, my dear students, about inert pair effect? Can any of you please tell me what is the definition of inert pair effect? Is there anyone who can tell me the definition of inert pair effect, please? Any one of you, my dear students? Bacho, do you remember what is the, dear students, do you remember?
No, sir.
You don't remember about the inert pair effect? Okay, no problem. What you can see on the screen, dear students? Screen पे क्या लिखा हुआ दिख रहा है? What you can see on the screen? Can you see this? What I have underlined?
Yes, sir.
Peanut berry effect.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Let's move forward. In case of lead, after filling 2 electron in S, that is in 6s, this is what I'm talking about. 14 electron goes into N minus 2F. See, this is 6 minus 2. That is 4. 6 minus 2F orbital, and 10 electron goes to N minus 1 d orbital. Do you understand this? You can see that if you look into the electronic configuration, this is 6 minus 1, that is 5d. So if you look into the shell number, here you have n is equal to 6. So that starts from 6s2. So the 2 electron goes into the 6s, and then, my dear students, the 14 electron goes into the 4f and 10 electron goes into the 5d. This 4f is n minus 2, that is 6 minus 2, that is equal to 4, and d is n minus 1, that is 6 minus 1, that is 5. I hope you understand this or not yet. Dear students, do you understand this or not?
Yes, sir.
Be quick to response. Have you understood this concept of this? You have n is equal to 6, n minus 1 is equal to 5, n minus 2 is equal to 4. So if you look into the electronic configuration of lead, it is xenon 6s2, 4f14, 5d10, 6p2. Do you understand this? That after filling the 6 electron or 2 electron in 6s, 14 electron goes into the n minus 2 f orbital and 10 electron goes into the n minus 1 d orbital. Do you understand this or not? Not yet. I need the answer.
Understand, sir.
Once again, please. Do you understand it or not?
Understand, sir.
हाँ बेटा, कुछ 2 लोग बोल रहे हैं, बाकी सबको अंडरस्टैंड हुआ कि नहीं? What's about the others? Okay, pay attention please. This is what I'm explaining second time. See, you have in n is equal to 1, you have 1s, then you have 2s and 2p here, then you have, see, I'm even explaining it in a wrong manner. See, you have 1s, then you have 2s and 2p, then you have 3s, 3p, 3d, 4s, 4p, 4d, 4f, 5s, 5p, 5d, 5f. Okay, 1 n is equal to, okay. And then you have 6s, 6p, 6d. That is how you can easily understand. I hope you can see this, what I'm writing. Dear students, can you, what you can see on the screen? Dear students, will you please help me to know what you can see on the screen? Do you see I'm erasing something?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
What
Yes,
is
sir.
written this? I have just underlined something. I have just
N is
underlined.
equal to 1.
N equal to 1.
Very good. So this is n is equal to 2. Then n is equal to 3, n is equal to 4, n is equal to 5, n is equal to 6. This is how you can look into this. So now you have these various orbitals present into the various shells. So these are the shells. This is what we call it K, L, M, N, O, P. These are the shells, my dear students. Now what happens if you really look into the oxidation state? If you really look into the electronic configuration of lead, you can see that 2 electron goes into the 6s, my dear students. So here we feel 2 electron. Then, my dear students, after feeling this 2 electron, 14 electron goes into the 4f. Where is 4f? This. You can see this 4f is available over here, and f has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 orbital, suborbitals. So you can feel 14 electron, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. Then 10 electron goes into the 5d, my dear students. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. And then, my dear students, the 2 electron goes into the 6p. So this is how the electrons are filled. So my dear students, when you fill this 2 electron in 6s, then after, you know, this nuclear charge increases plus 14 when 14 electron goes into the 4f, because the equal when 14 electrons are filled, at the same time 14 protons are also filled into the nucleus. Same way, my dear students, when 10 electron goes to the 5d, same way 10 protons are also increased into the nucleus. So thus total 24 plus 24 nuclear charge has been developed. And then, my dear students, the electron goes to the 6p. So now think that this 6s, before filling the 2 electron into 6p, phase plus 24 increase the nuclear charge. My dear students, this 6s phases plus 24 increase the nuclear charge. Now, again, one more thing. You know, the shape of this f orbital is not known, but the shape of the d orbital is like this. So it is double dumbbell shape, and that is why f and d orbital cause poor shielding. So due to this poor shielding or poor screening of the shape of the f and d orbital, this nuclear charge which is increased into the nucleus is poorly screened. Please remember, my dear student, that the nuclear charge, effective nuclear charge, is poorly screened. Due to this poor screening or poor shielding effect, my dear students, these electrons which are present into 6s, they feel strong nuclear charge. And that they are highly attracted by nucleus, and this particular electron which are present into 6s, they become inert in nature. They become inert and they do not take part into the bonding. Do not take part in bonding. This effect is known as the inert pair effect, my dear students. Please remember that the electron present into the 6s orbital, they become inert due to the very strong effective nuclear charge of the nucleus, and thus due to the very effective nuclear charge, my dear students, this electron become inert. They do not take part into the bonding, and thus this pair of electron which is present into the 6s become an inert pair. Now I hope you got it very clearly, dear students. So this is how we can understand the position or the condition into the PB, my dear students. Can you see I'm moving my cursor under n is equal to 6 on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now
Yes,
let's
sir.
move forward and understand that in case of lead, after filling 2 electrons in S, 6s, 14 electron goes to n minus 2 f orbitals, 10 electron goes to n minus 1 d orbital. Thus the nuclear charge becomes 24 unit stronger, but F and D orbitals show poor screening due to their shape. So effective nuclear charge in lead holds these 6s2 electron very firmly or very strongly, and then 6p2 electrons are filled. When it comes to removing the electrons, nuclear charge has strong hold on 6s2 electron. So, but in case of Pb plus 2 is possible by removing the electrons from 6p2. Pb plus 2 is possible, that is removal of 2 electrons from 6p is possible, but removal of 6s electron is difficult due to remove the 6s electron from 6s2 to make Pb plus 4. To make Pb plus 4, my dear students, we need to remove the electron from 6s also. 6s2 electrons in Pb become inert. A pair of electrons is in 6s become inert and they do not take part in bonding. This is called the inert pair effect. Thus in lead, Pb plus 2 oxidation state is more stable than Pb plus 4 oxidation state, and stability of Pb plus 2 oxidation state is more in case of the Pb plus 4. So we can say that stability of ions Pb plus 2 is more than the Pb plus 4. But in case of the tin, my dear students, there is no inert pair effect. And for tin, we can say that the stability of Sn plus 4 oxidation state is more than the stability of Sn plus 2 oxidation state. Now we can understand the consequences of inert pair effect in regard of the Pb plus 2 and Sn plus 2 and plus 4. So these are the various consequences due to the inert pair effect. Number one, SnCl4 is more stable than SnCl2 because we are well aware that Sn plus 4 is more stable than Sn plus 2. PbCl4 is produced, turns into PbCl2. So Pb plus 4 takes 2 electron and turns out to be Pb plus 2, which accept 2 electrons from other substances. So PbCl4 is very good oxidizing agent. You can see that Pb plus 4 takes 2 electron, and this is the reaction which is known as the reduction. So Pb plus 4 undergo reduction, and that is why it oxidizes the other substance, and that is why Pb plus 4 which is present into PbCl4 is a very good oxidizing agent, and PbCl4 itself get reduced to PbCl2 easily, and therefore PbCl4 is not stable. Same way, my dear students, two oxidation state of Pb in PbO and PbO2. PbO2 is very good oxidizing agent and it turns itself into PbO. So again here there is a case of Pb plus 4 get 2 electron turns to be Pb plus 2, and that is why PbO2 is a very good oxidizing agent. PbO2 is not so stable. PbO is more stable than PbO2. Now if we think about Sn, two halides SnCl2 and SnCl4, SnCl4 is more stable as compared to SnCl2 because Sn plus 4 in tin is more stable than Sn plus 2. So SnCl2, if it is produced, this SnCl2 turns to be SnCl4. Sn plus 2 releases 2 electron easily and it reduces other substance. So we can say that Sn plus 2 or SnCl2 or SNO are very good reducing agent. So please remember, my dear students, that Sn plus 2 is going to be very good reducing agent. Either it is in the form of SnCl2 or it is in the form of SNO. So we can say that oxides of tin, SNO and SNO2, SNO is less stable than SNO2 because the stability of plus 4 oxidation state in Sn is more stable. Same way, my dear students, SNO, if produces, it turns itself into SNO2 and it is oxidized into SNO2. So SNO is a very good reducing agent. SNO is a reducing. Now these are the various questions or scientific reason you may be asked into your exams, my dear students, that SNO is a reducing agent but PBO is not. This is the kind of question they may ask you. They may ask you SNO2 is not oxidizing agent but PbO2 is oxidizing agent. They may ask you SnCl2 is not stable but PbCl2 is stable. They may ask you SnCl4 is stable but PbCl4 is not stable. So these are the various consequences of the inert pair effect. That is what you can easily understand. Teen forms compounds in both oxidation state +2 and +4, my dear students. +2 oxidation state of teen is reducing agent. Lead forms compounds in +2 and +4 oxidation state, but Pb+4 is oxidizing in nature and Pb+2 is more stable than Pb+4. In tetravalent state, my dear students, number of electrons around the tetrahedral atom are 8. For example, CCl4. You can see here we have a CCl4, my dear students. We can show it this way. So here we have carbon. Carbon has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 electrons. All Cl we have around it. And you can see that Cl also will have 6 electron present on them. This is very simple to understand. So this CCl4 is basically having 8 electrons around carbon, and all chlorine has also achieved that octet. And that is why this kind of compounds are known as the electron precise. Being electron precise molecule, they are expected to behave neither as an electron acceptor nor as an electron donor species, because they have all the atoms have accepted, or all the atoms have achieved octet, and that is why they do not behave either electron acceptor or electron donor. Although carbon cannot exceed its covalence more than 4 due to non-availability of vacant d orbital, but other elements of this group, what are the other elements? Silicon, germanium, tin and lead. But the other elements of group 14 can extend their covalence more than 4, and this is due to the availability of vacant d orbital in their valence shell. So please remember, my dear students, here what we want to, or what I want to convey to you is this, that in tetravalent state, the compounds of this group element, they are electron precise. Being electron precise, they do not have tendency to gain or lose electrons. Then, my dear students, as carbon does not have vacant d orbital, so the compounds of carbon, or the carbon cannot extend its covalence more than 4, but these other elements like silicon, germanium, tin and lead, they can extend their octets and they can have valency more than 4. This is what I really wanted to convey to you. Thus, the halides of carbon does not undergo hydrolysis, but the other element halides undergo hydrolysis and have tendency to form complexes by accepting electron pairs from the donor species. So please remember, my dear students, that the compounds of carbon does not undergo hydrolysis, but the compounds of silicon, germanium, tin and lead, they undergo hydrolysis. Or they can have their covalence increase to more than 4, and thus they can form the compounds with 6 up to 6 covalence. So you can see that the species like SiF6, where the covalence of silicon, SiF6 minus 2, where the covalence of silicon is 6. You can even see GeCl6 minus 2, SnOH6 minus 2. These kind of complexes or these kind of compounds exist with sp3d2 hybridization in the central metal atom, and their covalence can be increased more than 4. Now, dear students, we want to study about the reactivity towards oxygen. All member of group 14, when heated in oxygen, forms oxides. These type of elements or group 14 elements make two type of oxide. One is monoxide, another is dioxide. The general formula for monoxide is MO. The general formula for dioxide is MO2. Thus, carbon forms carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. Silicon forms silicon monoxide and silicon dioxide. Germanium forms germanium monoxide and germanium dioxide. Tin forms tin monoxide and tin dioxide. Lead forms lead monoxide and lead dioxide. Now, there is one speciality about SiO, my dear students, that SiO only exists at high temperature. So, silicon monoxide is possible only at high temperature. Otherwise, all the other oxides are possible at room temperature. So, we can start here about SiO, and this SiO is the only monoxide of silicon which is possible at high temperature. It exists at such a high temperature that its characteristics are really difficult to be studied about us. Oxides in other oxidation state, my dear students. So oxides in higher oxidation state, if you look into that, if you look into the oxides of the higher oxidation state, dear student, just 1 minute, I'm so sorry. Oxides in higher oxidation state, dear student. Oxides in higher oxidation state of element are more acidic than those in lower oxidation state. We have already studied into the, my dear students, that these oxides which are in, or these elements which are in lower oxidation state, they have less tendency to ionize the negative charge, and that is why they are more less acidic in nature, but the ion with the higher oxidation state, they have capability to ionize the another ion, and that is why they are more or less covalent in nature. The dioxide GeO2, SiO2 and CO2, the dioxide GeO2, SiO2 and CO2, my dear students, they are acidic in nature. Just hold, please. Okay, dear students, I think there is some technical problem. That is why we are not able to underline. But you can read it here from here, my dear student, that the oxides of these elements, my dear students, let's look into this. The oxides GeO2, SiO2 and CO2 are acidic in nature, and this SNO2, PbO2, which are metal oxides, they are amphoteric in nature. And the monoxide CO, the monoxide carbon monoxide, which is CO, is neutral, GeO is acidic, SNO and PbO are amphoteric in nature. So my dear students, you can easily understand now that my dear student, that if we have these various types of oxide, or if we look into the various types of oxide, we can see the variety of oxides, or variety in their nature. At high temperature, the acidic or basic or at high temperature, the acidic, basic or neutral character of SiO is difficult to understand, so could not be understood or could not be studied. Please remember, it is an important point, my dear students. Please remember about the nature. You can see that this dioxide GeO2, SiO2 and CEO2 are acidic, whereas the dioxide of tin and lead are amphoteric in nature. If we look into the monoxide, carbon monoxide is neutral, but germanium oxide is acidic, but tin oxide and lead oxides are amphoteric in nature. The study about monoxide of silicon is not possible because it exists only at high temperature. Now, there is a question that we need to answer. Select the members of group 14 that forms the most acidic oxide. So the most acidic oxide is formed by carbon, which is carbon dioxide. You can even remember that germanium oxide is also acidic in nature, but please remember the most acidic dioxide is carbon dioxide. Uh, is found commonly in +2 oxidation state. We know that as we go down the group, the unit pair effect is more, and that is why lead can form +2 oxidation state, which is the most stable oxidation state for lead. Is used as a semiconductor, my dear students. Out of group 14 elements, germanium and silicon are the elements that can be used as a semiconductor. So this is the questions that is there in your text. Let's move forward and understand reactivity towards water. So now we are going to study the reactivity towards water of these group 14 elements. Carbon, silicon and germanium are not affected by water. Please remember that these carbon, silicon and germanium are not affected by water. Tin decomposes steam and form tin dioxide and dihydrogen gas. So tin, when it reacts with the steam, remember it should be in gaseous state. So this steam which is in gaseous state reacts with the tin that produces the tin dioxide and hydrogen gas. So thus tin can produce hydrogen gas when it reacts with water. Lead is unaffected by water, probably due to the layer of oxide that has been formed on the lead metal. So you can easily remember, my dear students, that out of group 14 elements, carbon, silicon, germanium, tin and lead, you can see that only tin is the element that has been affected or that reacts with the water, that even when it reacts with only the steam, my dear students. All the other elements are due to one or the other reason, they are not affected by water. Now, my dear students, we want to study about the reactivity towards halogen. So let us study about the reactivity towards halogen, dear students. Let us, the elements, these elements, these elements